question being, when is government regulation of business in markets effective? And I guess I don't have to go to work because I've got a taper right here. I want to bring you into get things going.
Well, I guess the question they're really trying to get us all talking about is, do we need more regulation or do we need less regulation? How do we get to this point?
You can talk about regulation, but what about, you hear about the Community Reinvestment Act, where it sort of pushed demand for housing and push for loans at lower down payments and lower qualifications for borrowers. And you know, when you push demand up, the price of things go up. So, like, did that cause part of this problem where you create this bubble? And that's part of government intervention into trying to manipulate markets, I guess.
Kind of elaborate on what you're saying, Mike, that period of government where liberals wanted to see more government help to people who have been underrepresented in home ownership.
Well,
Conservatives wanted to see more home ownership generally to stabilize society. So in a rare period of agreement on both sides of the aisle, came up with policies to promote home ownership. So
yeah, they did. I mean, you know what they say, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. That's all. I just think that if you dig deep into the whole issue with the housing bubble, there's a lot of moving parts.
So we have over here, this gentleman says there's private responsibility, some people should go into jail for what happened. And what Mike is saying is that the government itself set the wheels in motion for this to take place. How do we feel about that?
I'd like to get this to
I think the first thing is accountability. You know, we carry the road looking to isolate, put a hand on their banking crisis, and the rush people to in charge and isolate. The revolution was a Taliban, there are people who were held accountable, not obviously here. I think that will be the next issue with the crisis. People really are yearning for accountability. And in a state where there's corporate law, but not social law.
I was wondering whether, when they had those banks all together, whether they might have had a bigger idea of the dangers to their own financial future. They might have been willing to agree to more regulation, like the breakup of black banks or something that would be better, or not allowing investment banks and commercial banks to merge along with insurance companies. I was wondering if there might have been some leeway to do something then, to get the money, you know.
I understand what you mean. In a way, I also respond to what this gentleman said. So much, I felt, was left out. When I first saw the movie, I saw it before there was such kind of do a little preparation, and I must say I didn't appreciate it very much. You won't understand this comment until maybe a little later, but I came to appreciate the movie much more the second time. As a matter of fact, I thought it was a masterful job, absolutely masterful. Could you have imagined a more perfect Hank Paulson? I mean, perfect in the sense like saintly perfect. Maybe it was left out a little bit about his previous past at Goldman Sachs and whether he contributed to the problem, maybe. Or could you have imagined a more perfect explanation of how this all came about when they were all sitting in the room and they were explaining to the lady who was a press secretary, whatever she was? That was masterful, I thought. Masterful explanation, except it left out a lot of things. It left out rating agencies, what
we still only send people to jail if they committed a crime, which you have to define. And I think my recollection of the situation in Iceland was that there were limits set to the amount that I think the central bank was engaged in. Well, Iceland produced money to lend to banks in Europe that was well beyond anything they could take on. And when things kind of collapsed, there were, as I understand, other laws and regulations which had been exceeded. There were people who were responsible for that, who therefore could be put to jail. Whereas it seems to me, I've never heard anyone in the U.S. define what a crime would be that would send someone to jail. And greed, I think, is a sin rather than a crime.
That's good.
You asked a question about whether you need regulation. One of the issues here is I think there was an assumption that no institution would take on so much risk as to endanger itself. Since we demonstrated in this situation, and we're probably demonstrating it again today, that these institutions did not monitor themselves. If you don't have self-regulation, I think the only choice is some level of government regulation, assuming the government's smart enough to do it.
Does anybody else want to respond to that? I was going to see if the board had something to say. Yes, sir.
Well, I just wanted to point out that there was a very good example of regulation working at the end of the day. It was sort of understated. But Sheila Bair at the FDIC had one of the most clear-eyed views of what was happening at the time. And her solution in order to enforce the deal with the preferred stock, the injection of capital into banks, was based on her regulatory authority, and she was brilliant in the way she used it in order to let the banks know, especially Wells Fargo, which was a commercial bank, that the regulators would stand behind this deal and make sure that it got done. And her role was so much bigger than what was portrayed in the movie. She remains one of the real voices for how to make the regulation work and not just pass regulations in ways that are counterproductive. I mean, the other side of it was the British regulatory authorities essentially scotched the deal for Lehman Brothers because they were just interested in protecting themselves. They didn't think that they would be affected by what was happening in the United States. And that's an example of regulatory authority misuse and adding to the problem. So more regulation doesn't necessarily work. Right regulation is what needs to be discussed.
Banks were general partnerships. When you're a general partnership, it means that each of the partners is personally responsible for the losses of the bank. And I've always had the feeling like if you've really got skin in the game, that's the best regulator of all.
Exactly.
None of them had skin in the game. As a matter of fact, the main purpose that I could see in most of what was going on is how do you shift the risk? How do you shift the risk from, so, you know, you're going to be a AAA borrower instead of a double B. And who does it get shifted to eventually? I mean, if it really got shifted to partners and AIG, that's fine. It gets shifted to you and me. That makes me mad. And so when people talk about, oh, this is boring subject matter, it's just way too much, my eyes glaze over. I always feel like it's not boring because it really has to do with how they're being ripped off. And there's nothing boring about getting ripped off. So, Dorothy.
The one last comment I wanted to make about the institutional investors is that's my pension plan. That's the money that I pay for insurance every year when I don't have a claim. Somebody's got to manage that and keep money coming in and hold it so that when Hurricane Sandy came, they were able to pay me. That's the health insurance. I mean, there are a whole lot of reasons why so-called institutional investors aren't big greedy things, managing money for their partners alone. It's all the rest of us as well, and I think that is all too frequently overlooked.
There's a case to be made that they were victimized. I mean, they are restricted in what they can invest into investment-grade securities.
And the ratings.
And the ratings were behind it. And as soon as the market started to tank, and as, well, Chris isn't here anymore, Chris talked about how the ratings of the rating companies were affected. As soon as that happened, the pension plans had to unload these non-investment grade assets, these things that became and that created a part of the, the swirling down the drain.
Since we're probably about out of time, I just wanted to make one recommendation if you're looking to go a little further on all this. The movie starts at about 2007, 2008, but really, if you wind the clock back to about 2005 to long-term capital management, a hedge fund that most everybody's forgotten about by now. 98, thank you. Hedge fund that most people have forgotten about involved maybe $1 billion or so, which is pocket change these days. That entity had 2 Nobel Prize winning economists involved in its investment strategy, and it came to the brink of collapse. And when it did, the government and the investment banks, the government brought investment banks together to save it. And there's nobody on Wall Street who missed that lesson. That's why 10 years later, all this could happen so readily. So if you want to read about it, it's When Genius Failed. Great book, compelling read, moves along quickly, and
I think that's when the Greenspan put was invented. I'm not sure. Is that right?
calling that up.